Hey folks, welcome to our session of Thirsty Sword Lesbians by April Kit Walsh. As part of the Gauntlet Reading Club, we'll be using Hannah Templar's CosmoKnights to inspire our fiction. Before we jump into things, I wanted to do a quick round of introductions for anyone watching. I'm Steven, he, him. I am facilitating the reading club at the moment and also GMing this run of Thirsty Sword Lesbians.
My name is Claire, pronouns are she, her, and my character is Freckle, pronouns also she, her. My character is the former handmaiden of Princess Lorelei Aurelian. She is also a clone of her and served often as a sort of body double and decoy because of assassination attempts. And has a kind of weird toxic crush on her from a strange, probably emotionally abusive relationship. And now she is on her own after the family refused to pay the ransom on her when she got captured. And she's kind of searching for her own identity. But as of the most recent session, she might end up once again in the company of Princess Lorelei again. We'll see how that goes.
Hi, I'm David. I use he, him pronouns, and I am playing Trace Soto, who also uses he, him pronouns. Trace Soto is a veteran knight. He fights under the name Wolf. He's been knocking around the jousting circuit for some years now. His childhood friend was Princess Araminta, was supposed to be wed to a gentleman whose name is escaping me at the minute, but I will pick up on later. But Prince Tianshan, that's it. Though she appeared to have gone mysteriously missing in the intervening time, kind of interested in tracking her down. And last time, we saw Trace getting into a brawl with the brother of another knight that he had been at least partially responsible for the death of in a bout a few years ago, and they kind of got into it. But yeah, that's roughly where I'm at this moment.
Alrighty. I'm Puckett. I use he, him pronouns, and I have two cats, one of whom is acting up at the moment. So, cats. Today I'm playing Sola, who pronouns they, it. Sola is a former onboard combat AI in a knight suit that managed to gain sentience due to a mishap of electrical, like an electrical baton, something like that, which knocked the pilot of the mech suit out, and Sola finished the battle on its own and proceeded to deposit the mech pilot somewhere safe so they could get treatment, and then took off to find a different body, returning the mech suit, obviously. And is now trying to figure out what it means to be human and why people keep saying that I have won the hand of a princess when the hand is still attached to the princess's arm. Also, they say that I have obtained the princess's favor, but I'm not sure what favor she can do for me. So I'm a little confused. There are some things going on that people should probably explain to me because they seem a little bewildering. So, yes, that's me.
And I'm Lyra. I use she, her, or they, them pronouns, and I'm playing Kay, who uses she, her pronouns. Kay is a runaway princess from the same house that's been hosting the joust that we were variously competing in, using as a distraction or sneaking around the edges of last session. And I'm a little tied up at the moment, kind of variously being held at gunpoint by / flirting with / kissing Amor, who is a mysterious agent that noticed my incompetent spying and has trailed me back to our ship, the Kestrel.
This game is hosted through the Gauntlet. The Gauntlet, for folks who don't know, is an online gaming community mostly focusing on role-playing games of the Indian OSR varieties. Besides publishing a zine called The Codex, it also puts out several podcasts about role-playing games. And of course, it organizes a gaming calendar, which this and many other games are organized through every month. The calendar is open to non-members, so feel free to jump on over there through the link below if you're interested in playing with any of the folks here tonight or any of the other people on the Gauntlet. Now that we've gotten through that, I had wanted to turn over to where we had left off last week. Trace, as you board the ship, I think that there are a few extra people that you don't expect to be here, of course. I mean, Freckle is there, but there's also a woman that looks very much like Freckle. And there's also this other woman that you have never seen before. How is Kay settled in here as you wait for Trace to actually get here?
I think I'm intrigued enough by Amor in more ways than one that I wouldn't have attempted to kick her off our ship, which will probably have been unsuccessful in any case. I think that we're sat in the two comfiest chairs in kind of the galley or wherever we kind of mingle together on the ship, kind of the living room equivalent, and I've made Amor some tea, and we're actually kind of getting to know each other better. Kind of, I'm trying to kind of get out of Amor why I can't remember how far we got with kind of why she was holding me at gunpoint last session, but kind of asking her questions along that vein, and kind of like probably continuing to flirt somewhat.
Yeah. I think then as Trace comes aboard, this woman, Amor, says, I think, is this apologies, Captain, about not notifying you that I'd be joining your trip. But I had a run-in with my old friend here, Kay, and I thought that, well, since we're headed in the same direction, I might tag along with you. And she gives you a look, Kay, and she has a string on you, which I am going to spend to give you an XP if you back her up on this play.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So it's way more interesting than just doing the right thing. So yeah, totally. So I'm saying, yeah, what are the chances kind of running into Amor here? I've known her from years back, and we've got a spare bunk or two. The more the merrier, right?
Oh, a spare bunk for me now, is it, Kay? And she cocks an eyebrow at you.
Well, it seems we end up picking up strays wherever we set down, so why not?
Again, hold on real quick. My mic was muted, so I don't think you heard my joke. I did say a more the merrier after said that. Sorry, carry on. See, that's the down. It's hard to quip when your mic is muted because I'm like, oh, I have to switch tabs. Go like, no, it's a disaster. Carry on. I apologize.
The magic of editing will resolve that.
But yeah, we should probably make a move before we attract any more attention than we already have.
And I raise my eyebrows at you and say, because you've got. Oh no, you don't have the computer under your arm anymore. So I don't know that you've ripped this off the wall.
Freckle did run in with it, and it was still saying "alert, alert."
Yes, and I So I just look at you and say, kind of, oh yes, you decided to go for the unsubtle approach, didn't you?
That's what I'm here for, Kay. You know that.
And I think I just gesture to the tea set that's out on the table and kind of like offering you a cup of tea if you want it.
Yeah, and I think Trace will sort of just grab a cup of tea as he sort of heads over to begin like the pre-flight checks and the like.
And I think normally Kay would be kind of doing her part of the pre-flight checks as well, but I think I'm far more kind of interested at the moment in getting to know her more better. So I'm not doing that as I normally would.
And meanwhile, Freckle, where are you when Princess Lorelei comes onto the ship?
I would probably just be like, if I know I'm going to be staying with them for a while, maybe like getting settled in one of the bedrooms or something. I would probably just like bump into her in a hallway and be extremely surprised and like would probably blue screen for a good 5 or 10 seconds upon seeing her. So,
Oh, I mean, since you say it like that,
mm-hmm.
could you stagger for me, Freckle?
Oh, extremely, yes.
Yes, when you suffer a staggering physical or emotional blow, choose an option from the below based on the number of conditions you have marked. So you have 0 to 3 right now, so you'll pick from that second list.
Okay. I think I'm going to mark 2 conditions. I'm going to be guilty and insecure.
Oh yes. When you bump into Freckle, into Lorelei, she...
I can understand you mixing us up. It happens a lot.
Yeah. She gives a little, oh, Freckle, what are you doing here? I was certain that you were lost or dead.
Yeah, I'm going to say, oh, my princess, and I'll like just drop to my knees kind of reflexively, and like bow my head and say, I'm so sorry. I got lost. I was separated.
Oh, and that hair. You just look awful, Freckle. Awful.
I say, forgive me. I've not had the comforts of the palace for quite some time.
Well,
I apologize if my appearance displeases you.
Oh, well, we will just have to fix that. Sola.
Hey, when my looks or behavior are unacceptable for my social role, choose one. I have a move called Sorry. Were you intending to trigger that, or were you?
A little bit, yes, but also just playing up Lorelei.
Right, of course. Let's see. I can choose one. Get +1 forward to entice when asking for forgiveness or getting self-conscious. Offer someone a string to fix the faux pas, to find the faux pas charming or endearing. Yeah, I will offer someone a string to find the faux pas charming or endearing, and I will basically kind of just play it off like, oh yes, I'm not at my best, sorry, not like back in the old days, blah 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 blah, kind of like laugh it off a little bit. So
oh yes, she calls Sola.
You wish my attention?
I'm wondering, do you have any beauty products or hair conditioner and the like here on the ship? I should like to set something up for myself and dear Freckle here in my room.
What are beauty products?
Oh dear, I suppose that this will just have to be a lesson for both of you. And Freckle, you must help me. You must let me help you. Just get yourself a little bit fixed up.
Oh, of course, my princess.
Fixed up? Freckle is organic. Freckle does not need repair.
I say, so it's okay. Just cosmetic. I'm not looking my best, clearly.
Oh, yes. And I'm curious, she is asking you to do something for yourself
yeah.
here.
Oh, for myself. Is this for myself or is this for
This
her?
is for myself in a really toxic, for yourself in a really toxic relationship sort of way.
But,
Like, you look really bad. Let me
Sure.
help you help yourself.
Okay. Yeah, part of me thinks this is for her, but I could be wrong. But let me see. You know, honestly, if you don't mind just looking at this, though, I don't think that she's you can tell me that I'm wrong, but I don't think that this is for my
Okay.
I think it's because me looking bad reflects poorly on her, is what it feels like to me.
That's
like,
fine if you
or
want to
at
play
the
it
very
that way,
least,
sure.
like, I'm not interpreting this like as me doing
Sure.
something for myself. This does not feel like a genuinely good offer to like be like, you know, if someone says, "Oh, you look terrible, you need to fix
Right.
yourself up." That's not like, do something nice for yourself. You know what I mean? So
That's fair.
Okay, so if you don't mind, I think we should interpret it as the top one.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, so I will say, oh, you know, like at once, of course. I you know, we'll see what we have here that we can make do with. I will do it, and they must show approval, gratitude, or admiration. So do we want to like just cut for now to us going
I think we end that scene there, that moment there, and she says, "Oh, wonderful! You always are such a pleasant little Freckle." And she like leans down and gives you a kiss on the forehead.
Oh.
If there's any chance that Kay overhears this, she will be getting extremely angry at this exchange. And I know it's probably not a conventional way to use a string, but I feel like I want to give Lorelei a string because she's pushing my buttons here. And that's going to make me more reactive to her.
Okay, sure. I'm wondering, do you intervene here at all then?
I think I would step in with Lorelei. And I think that I say, while you're on my ship, you need to treat its crew with respect. I think that I actually wink at her, not in a kind of friendly way, but in kind of like a half threatening, half kind of dismissive sort of way.
I only want what's best for Freckle. We can't have her just going around being, I don't know, the kind of mess that you are.
Kay is not a mess. Kay is my friend. And I don't see why Freckle is a mess.
Oh, this is an emotional support for Kay right here.
Alrighty, so when you offer support in a way that can be meaningful to them, roll plus heart or plus spirit. If you spend a string on them, add 3 to your roll. Do I need to announce that I'm spending the string beforehand or after?
No, you will announce this. You spend strings after the roll.
All right, so roll plus heart. I think everything is 1 plus 1.
Yep.
Okay. So that's 2d6 plus 1. That's a 12.
Yeah. Continuing the fact that, I mean, maybe it's just that you're an AI and so the die roller, like, you know, is rooting for you.
Maybe.
Yeah, so I think that she kind of gives a little pout at you and looks between you and Kay. And she looks at Kay and says, "Well, it seems at least someone is interested in you," and storms off. And Kay, how do you respond to Sola's?
I think as much as I was putting a tough face on it, I think that Lorelei got to me because I'm just not used to that sort of like, I've deliberately removed myself from kind of that sort of environment, those sort of people. Like, I'm not used to that anymore. So I'm really appreciative of Sola here, and I am I think if this is okay with you, I think I just kind of like spontaneously, without even thinking, go to hug Sola and just say,
I think Sola would be confused, but allow it.
And I think kind of maybe a second into the hug, I'm like, I realize that you're confused, and like just kind of like step back and say, I'm sorry, Sola. That's a human expression of affection. I really appreciate you standing up for me there.
You may continue it if you wish.
And I think at that I smile and go to hug you again.
Aww.
So 2 questions here. First off, Kay, on a you get to actually choose 2 because you are smitten with Sola.
Mm-hmm.
And Sola, because you got a 10+, you get to choose 1. And I'm wondering, how does being hugged feel to Sola?
It's not something that I'm used to, but it's not bad. It's it's a bit like when I was being coded, I was in a rack with other computers, and I could constantly feel the humming of fans, and it was somewhat reassuring. And this feels something like that. With less humming and whirring. K does not appear to have an internal or external fan.
I'm a fan of Kay, and I'm external to her. I just wanted to say.
I wanted to ask, do you think you've become smitten? Or no?
Does being confused count as being smitten?
I mean, I would say yes, but smitten is really just a flag saying, I want you to flirt with me, so it's not much more than that.
To the extent that Sola is capable of flirting, then yes, Sola is smitten.
Cool. So, Kay, you get a string on Sola. And Sola, how about you answer that question down there for me?
I mean, entirely apart from the fact that my operating system runs on silicon and theirs runs on tissue.
I mean, if that's the answer you want to give, but if you want to go more than that, feel free.
I think that's enough for right now. I think Sol is probably puzzling through, interoperations with. Is interoperation between silicon and tissue possible? If so, how? Probably researching archives digitally.
Oh, yes. Great. Wonderful.
Libraries are my love language.
Shifting over, I think, to Trace. Trace, you said that you were piloting the ship?
Yeah, that's right. Yep, or at least getting ready for takeoff.
Yeah, I think that Amor takes a seat beside you, and do you mind if I help out, Captain? I have some history flying rigs like this.
Well, while you're aboard, I guess you might as well earn your keep. And he'll like pass over one of the like data slates or whatever that is going through the calibrations on the sort of thing.
Yeah, she will say she does the techno babble that you do for takeoff and flight here. You say you are in some trouble now. Now, from what I know of Kay, that's something I expect from her, but you seem like the sort of fellow that likes to keep his head down.
I prefer not to get caught doing anything wrong, if that's what you mean. Yeah, I don't have a perfect record on that front.
Well, you seem to have courted just about the right amount of trouble for someone that almost never courts it. House Stone isn't exactly someone I want to get on the wrong side of.
Yeah, that was a little messier than I'd have liked. This could cause some issues, but hopefully we can stay at least one step ahead. Aside from your little reunion, what brings you here with us? We can, I'm sure, put you down somewhere if you don't want to run the risk of entanglements.
You could say I'm already a bit entangled with House Stone business. They're attracting a lot of attention from folks these days, and information has its value after all. I think she glances back at the little data drive still going alert in the background.
Well, I certainly hope so anyway.
I'm wondering, as player character here, David, is there anything you want to push for Trace, either in this scene or on the ship in general?
I might go for trying to understand, trying to figure out a person here on Amor, because I think Trace is maybe a little suspicious that she, just happened to show up when we are on the run from
Cool.
the authorities, as it were. But he's not nearly as good at this talking to people as when he's punching them. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
That's an 8. So have that a second ago. Here we go. Yes. So I think I'm going to ask, what do you hope to get from being on the ship? What do you hope to get from coming with us, basically?
I think that there are kind of two answers here that you're able to gather. The generous answer is allies, and the kind of more selfish answer that I think Trace is able to ferret out is warm bodies between her and House Stone.
Right. Yeah, that's very fair, and I think in many ways that assures Trace, and I think second question will be, what are your feelings towards Kay?
Oh, I think she's intrigued by Kay. I think that she knows Kay is someone with secrets, and she wants to find out what those are. And she asks to you, what are your feelings towards Sola? She kind of glances up at you. That thing is, well, it's how stone make, isn't it? I'm pretty certain. They're the only ones that have the tech to make an AI that advanced.
I don't know. I don't know how much of her was made by House Stone and how much they've made themselves. I've never met anything like them before. I still don't know what to make of them, but to the extent they have a heart, it seems like it's in the right place.
Well, Captain, I appreciate your willingness to trust. I just hope, as she stands from the pilot seat, it doesn't come back to bite you in the end. Kay is a nice soul, but I wouldn't trust her judgment about anyone. And she walks off.